Healing can feel unattainable when, despite your best efforts, the same pain returns again and again. Each new attempt at recovery is met with the same hurt, the same betrayal, the same disappointment, and the same heartbreak that you experienced before. Only now, it appears in a different form, or from a new person. Even after processing the pain and convincing yourself of your readiness to move forward, the familiar wound is reopened, making recovery seem unreachable. Healing from emotional wounds is often portrayed as a linear process, one that progresses steadily from pain to recovery. However, the reality for many is far more complex. Today, we will explore the struggle of attempting to heal while continually encountering the same patterns of hurt, betrayal, and disappointment. We'll examine why healing can become impossible in such cycles, the psychological impacts of repeated emotional trauma, and how we can break free from destructive patterns to foster genuine recovery. Repeated emotional injuries make it difficult to trust again. When attempts to build trust result in the same painful outcome, it becomes natural to question yourself. Doubts emerge. You may question yourself, constantly wondering, is it a personal failing, a wrong choice, or a flawed way of loving? The cycle of hurt can lead you to wonder if you are inherently broken, or question if you are destined to keep making the same mistakes. This scenario sounds familiar to those with a history of emotional pain. Despite processing past trauma and believing oneself ready to move forward, the same type of hurt reappears in new situations. This recurrence often manifests with different people, but with strikingly similar outcomes. The wound, instead of healing, is continually reopened, making trust and emotional safety feel unattainable. Repeated exposure to the same emotional injuries can lead to self-doubt. You may begin to question your own judgment, wondering if you are the problem, or maybe if you are choosing wrong, loving wrong, or maybe you feel like you're just built to be broken. This internalization of blame is a common response to chronic relational trauma and often leads to diminished self-esteem and a sense of hopelessness about the possibility of healing. It's important to give yourself some grace. Sometimes patterns take more than one heartbreak to see clearly. However, your ability to recognize destructive cycles is a crucial step toward healing. Awareness grows with experience, and only through repeated exposure do the underlying patterns become visible. Once identified, these cycles can be addressed, but the process is often painful and requires conscious effort. True healing cannot occur within a cycle that perpetuates hurt. At some point, we must stop entering the same situations and expecting different results. This means actively choosing different paths, relationships, or responses, in addition to refusing to repeat the past. Breaking the cycle requires courage, self-reflection, and sometimes seeking support from others. It involves setting boundaries, redefining expectations, and cultivating self-worth outside of harmful patterns. Healing from repeated emotional pain is not just about processing past wounds, but about changing the patterns that allow those wounds to keep reopening. It is about learning, growing, and making different choices. While some lessons are hard-earned and some patterns take time to discern, true growth begins when we refuse to participate in cycles that hurt us. Through awareness, self-compassion, and deliberate change, it is possible to move beyond recurring disappointment. My friends, please remember that you hold all the power you need to make any changes in your life. You can break the patterns and change the outcome.